He noticed the wine before he noticed her. A dark red stain spreading across the front of his suit, soaking into fabric that cost more than most people's rent. Conversations nearby faltered. Someone inhaled sharply. Someone else whispered his name like a warning. She froze. The glass was still in her hand, tilted at a useless angle, a final drop clinging to the rim before falling onto his shoe. "Oh," she said. That was it. No gasp. No apology avalanche. Just one soft surprise syllable. The Korean Mafia boss did not move. He stood there in the middle of the charity gala. Music still playing. Crystal lights glittering overhead. Every important person in the city suddenly very interested in the floor. His men were already shifting. Subtle but fast. Bodies angling. Hands lowering near jackets. Fear usually came first. Panic. Excuses. Tears. She just looked at the stain. She stopped herself, frowned slightly, then added, "That's definitely not coming out." Silence thickened. One of his men stepped forward. "Ma'am." "It was an accident," she said, finally looking up. Not at the guards. At him. "I promise I wasn't aiming for you. I don't even know who you are." That earned her a reaction. Not from the men. From him. His eyes met hers. Cold. Measured. The kind of gaze that made seasoned criminals reconsider their life choices. He waited for the fear to land. It didn't. She winced instead. "Wow. Okay. That look? That one's intense. I feel like I should apologize again." But louder. People around them were holding their breath. Someone reached for a phone. Someone else quietly backed away. He spoke at last. His voice was calm, precise, dangerous in its lack of volume. "You ruined my suit." "Yes," she agreed immediately. "I did. Completely. In my defense, the waiter bumped me. The floor is too shiny, and this glass was overfilled. But mostly, yeah. My fault." She gestured at his chest, then seemed to realize what she was doing and dropped her hand. "I can pay for the cleaning," she added. "Or the suit. Or my own funeral. Whichever comes first." A few people flinched, his men tensed. He studied her face, waiting for the crack, the tremor, the realization of who stood in front of her. Nothing. Her pulse was steady. Her shoulders were tight, but not in fear. More like embarrassment mixed with stubborn dignity. "You should be careful with your words," he said. She tilted her head. "You should be careful with your elbows." One of the guards inhaled sharply. Another muttered her name like a plea, though she hadn't given it. The boss felt something unexpected brush against his composure. Interest. "Do you know who I am?" he asked. She squinted at him. Really looked. The tailored suit. The controlled stillness. The men. The way the room bent slightly around him. "You're either very powerful," she said slowly, "or very dramatic." A pause. "Both," she offered. Something shifted behind his eyes. Not anger. Calculation. "I don't accept accidents," he said. She nodded. "That tracks. And I don't accept apologies." "That's unfortunate," she replied. "I'm very good at them." Another beat of silence. Longer this time. He stepped closer. Close enough that she could smell clean spice and expensive cologne. Close enough that most people would have backed away. She didn't. She glanced down at the wine again. "For what it's worth," she said quietly, "red really isn't your color." His mouth twitched. Just once. He turned to his men. "Stand down." They hesitated, then obeyed. The crowd exhaled. He looked back at her. Leave. She blinked. That's it. Yes. She nodded, relieved, already stepping back. Okay. Great. Again. Sorry about the wait. She stopped. He held out a hand. Not threatening. Expectant. She stared at it, then at him. You want your name, he said. She hesitated for half a second, then shrugged. Yora. He committed it to memory. Go, he repeated. She did, quickly, without looking back. He watched her disappear into the crowd, heart beating a fraction faster than it should have. She hadn't known who he was, and she hadn't been afraid. He changed into a fresh jacket in the back room, while the gala pretended nothing had happened. The stained suit was taken from him like evidence. His assistant murmured numbers, brands, replacements. His security chief asked if he wanted the girl followed. Not followed, he said, buttoning his cuffs with steady fingers. Found. Sir, she didn't run like she knew, he replied. Which means she didn't know. That should have ended the curiosity. It didn't. Chairman Jung Ki-hyun walked back into the ballroom wearing a different suit, the same face, and a new irritation he couldn't name. People smiled too brightly. Apologies floated toward him like perfume. Donations doubled in the next 10 minutes. Fear was efficient. And yet his mind kept replaying one small detail. Yora. Not the name itself. The way she said it. Like it belonged to her. Like she wasn't offering it as a shield. Across the room, a senator laughed too loudly. A CEO bowed too low. Ki-hyun nodded in all the right places, said nothing unnecessary, and felt the silence inside him grow heavier. When the gala ended, his driver opened the car door. The city lights slid over black glass. His phone buzzed once. Security chief. She's staff. Catering contractor. Name? Europark. Works nights. Day job unknown. Ki-hyun stared at the message for a long moment. Where? He asked. His chief sent an address. 20 minutes later, Europark was in a narrow kitchen behind a mid-level restaurant, tying her hair up with a rubber band that had seen better days. She smelled like garlic and cheap champagne. Her feet ached. Her boss was yelling about broken glasses like they were priceless artifacts. She kept seeing the man's eyes. Not the suit. Not the guards, the gaze. Cold, sharp, and somehow bored. Like the world never surprised him until she spilled wine on his chest. Yora, the manager snapped. You alive back there? Yes, she called, voice cheerful out of spite. Unfortunately. She rinsed her hands, grabbed her bag, and walked out the back door into the alley. The air was damp. The city was loud. She breathed like she could finally belong to herself again. A black car waited at the end of the alley. It wasn't subtle. It didn't need to be. Yora stopped walking. For the first time that night, her stomach dropped. Okay, she muttered. So that's how it's going to be. The rear door opened. A man in a suit stepped out. Not the same one from the gala. Different face, same posture. Security. Miss Park, he said politely, like her name was a business asset. Chairman Jung would like to speak with you. Yora stared at him. About the wine. About you, the man corrected. That's worse. Please, he said. It's safer if you come willingly. Yora squinted. Did you just threaten me with politeness? The man's expression twitched. No, ma'am. I'm informing you. She exhaled slowly, then walked closer, stopping just out of reach. Tell Chairman Jung I'm busy being poor. He can invoice me for the suit. I'll pay it off in 47 years. The man hesitated. He doesn't want payment. Of course he doesn't, she said flatly. He wants control. Silence. The alley felt narrower. Then a familiar voice came from inside the car, low and calm. "Get in." Yura leaned toward the open door and saw him in the shadows, seated like he owned the air. No smile, no warmth, just presence. "You again?" she said. "Yes," he replied. On purpose. She stared at him for 2 seconds, then surprised herself by laughing once, sharp and breathless. "That's insane." "Maybe," he said. "But it's efficient." She rolled her eyes. "You people love that word." His gaze held hers. "You are not afraid." Yura's smile faded a little. "I'm tired." "There's a difference." Ki-hyen watched the truth land in her face. Not fear. Not yet. Calculation. Survival. "Get in," he repeated. 5 minutes. "And if I say no?" He paused. "Then I leave." "Tonight." Tonight. Like there could be other nights. Yor looked at the car. At the driver. At the suited man. At the city beyond the alley. Then she sighed like she was agreeing to a bad decision. "Fine. 5 minutes. But if you murder me, I'm haunting your entire bloodline." Ki-hyen's mouth twitched again. "Noted," he said. She climbed into the car. The door closed. The outside noise dimmed, like the city had been muted. Yura sat stiffly, bag on her lap. "Okay," she said. "Speak." Ki-hyen watched her. "You didn't ask who I was." "I assumed," she replied. "Rich, dangerous, allergic to joy. Why weren't you afraid?" She looked out the window. "Because fear doesn't pay my rent," she said. "And because men like you are used to trembling. It makes you careless." Silence. Then he said, "Tomorrow you will receive an offer." "No." "I haven't explained it." "Still no." His mouth twitched. "You refuse quickly." "I survive quickly," she corrected. Ki-hyen leaned back. "Then survive near me." For once, the car didn't move. That was the first thing Yura noticed. No sudden acceleration. No dramatic turn. Just stillness, wrapped in leather and quiet. "Near you," she repeated. "That's not ominous at all." Ki-hyen didn't react. He studied her the way people studied contracts before signing something that could ruin them. "You misunderstand," he said. "I am not inviting you into my world." She raised an eyebrow. "Could have fooled me." Black car, alley, men in suits. "I am offering distance," he continued. "With conditions." Yura snorted. "That's also ominous." He ignored that. "You will continue your life. Your jobs. Your routines. Nothing changes." "That's a lie." "One thing changes," he corrected. "When problems appear, you tell me." She stared at him. "You don't even know my problems." "I know enough," he said calmly. "You work 2 jobs. You are paid late. You rent, not own. You argue with your manager but do not quit. You spill wine because your hands were shaking." Her throat tightened despite herself. "Congratulations," she said lightly. "You have eyes. I have people. That's worse." Silence pressed in again. The kind that waited. "And what do you get?" she asked. His gaze sharpened. "Order." She laughed once. "That's it. You're bored, I scare you, so you sponsor my existence." "I don't sponsor," he said. "I stabilize." Yura leaned back against the seat, arms crossed. "You don't get to stabilize me." He watched her for a long moment. "Everyone needs something," he said. "You just haven't named yours." She looked away. 5 minutes are up." "Yes," he agreed. "They are." The driver glanced back, waiting. Ki-hyen nodded once. The door unlocked with a soft click. Yora didn't move immediately. She looked at him, really looked this time. At the calm, the control, the faint exhaustion under it. "This is a bad idea," she said. He met her eyes. "Yes," she exhaled. "Good. I like honesty." She opened the door and stepped out into the alley. Cold air rushed in like relief. She turned back once. "I'm serious about the haunting thing." He inclined his head. "Duly noted." The car drove away. Ki-Hyam closed his eyes briefly. The quiet felt wrong again. The next morning, Yura woke up late and irritated. Her phone buzzed before she'd even sat up. Unknown number, today, noon, coffee. She stared at the screen. Yura, wrong number. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, reappeared. Unknown number. "It is the correct number." She groaned into her pillow. "Of course it is. Yura, I said no offers." Unknown number. "This is not an offer. Yura, you people are exhausting." Unknown number. "You said that last night." She sat up. Blinked. "Yura, you kept my number?" Unknown number. "Yes." "Yura, that's creepy." Unknown number. "Accurate." She laughed despite herself. That annoyed her. "Yura, I work at noon." Unknown number. "I know." "Yura, of course you do." A pause, longer this time. Unknown number. 8 p.m. then. She hesitated. Fingers hovering. Yura, normal place. 3 dots. Unknown number. "I am trying." That night she almost didn't go. She stood in her apartment, staring at her reflection. Cheap dress. Clean jacket. The version of herself that blended into crowds. She hated that part of her wanted to see him again. The cafe was small, dim, ordinary. No guards inside. 2 outside, pretending to check their phones. "Subtle," she muttered. He stood when she approached. Not rushed, not slow. "You're late," he said. "You're early," she replied. "That cancels out." They sat. Coffee arrived. Silence followed. "You didn't spill anything," he observed. "Tragic," she said. He studied her hands. "They're steady today. Rent's paid," she replied. For now. Another silence. Softer. "Why me?" she asked suddenly. He didn't answer right away. He stirred his coffee, though he didn't drink it. "Because," he said at last, "you looked at me like I was just a man." She held his gaze. "You are." Something tightened behind his eyes. Outside, a black car idled. Inside, 2 people sat too close to something neither of them wanted to name yet. The cafe became their mistake. Not immediately. Not obviously. Just slowly, like a place you visit once and then keep returning to without admitting why. They didn't touch. They barely spoke at first. Coffee cooled between them while the city pressed against the windows. "You're staring," Yura said. "You are observant," Ki-Hyam replied. "That's not a denial." He looked away. "You are different in daylight," she snorted. "Less dramatic lighting." "No," he said. "Less guarded," she stiffened. "You don't know me." "I know you didn't ask who I was last night," he said. "And you didn't run. Low standards for fascination. They are effective standards." She rolled her eyes. "So what now? You monitor my caffeine intake?" "No," he said calmly. "I leave." She blinked. "That's it?" "Yes, that's surprisingly healthy." He stood. She stood too, annoyed at herself for it. "Your world is loud," he added. "Mine is not safe." "Neither is mine," she said. Just cheaper. A pause. Be careful, he said. You too, she replied. Try not to ruin anyone's life this week. I'll try. He walked out first. The guards followed. The black car disappeared into traffic. Yura stood there longer than necessary, then sat back down and finished her coffee. It tasted bitter. 3 days passed. Nothing happened. No messages. No cars. No men pretending to text nearby. Yura told herself she was relieved. She worked, slept, argued with her manager, spilled soup on herself, lived. On the 4th day, her boss called her into the office. We're cutting shifts, he said, not looking at her. Temporary, she nodded. Of course. On the 5th day, her landlord left a note under her door. Reminder. Late fees apply. She folded it carefully and put it in her bag like it couldn't hurt her if she didn't look at it. On the 6th day, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Are you free? She stared at it for a long time. Yura. Depends. Is this another non-offer? Unknown number. It is lunch. Yura. I said normal. Unknown number. I chose a sandwich place. She laughed quietly. Progress. They met on a street corner at noon. No car this time. He stood alone, coat buttoned, expression unreadable. You walked, she said. Yes. Wow. Growth. He ignored that. You look tired. You look judgmental. They ordered sandwiches. Sat outside. Ween tugged at napkins. Why did you stop coming? She asked, biting into her food. I did not want to create expectation. She chewed. Too late. He watched her carefully. That bothers you. She swallowed. I don't like uncertainty. You live in it. Doesn't mean I like it. Silence again. Familiar now. My assistant says you lost shifts, he said. Her head snapped up. You promised no interference. I did not interfere. You investigated. Yes. That's not better. He nodded. I know. She exhaled sharply. I don't want help. I haven't offered. Yet. Another pause. He leaned back, eyes on the street. Your refusal is inefficient, he said. She smiled tightly. Your persistence is annoying. His mouth twitched. Equal discomfort. That night, Yura's power went out. She sat in the dark, phone flashlight on, cursing the building, the wiring, her luck. She checked the breaker. Nothing. A knock came at the door. She froze. Another knock. Controlled. Familiar. She opened it a crack. Kihyun stood there, coat damp from rain. How did you... The outage affects 3 buildings, he said. Yours is one. You were just watching? No, he replied. I was nearby. She stared at him. That's not comforting. It is honest. He held up a small lantern. May I? She hesitated, then stepped aside. He didn't touch anything. Didn't sit. Just stood in her small living room like it might collapse under him. You don't belong here, she said quietly. I know. And yet. He met her eyes. And yet. The power came back 10 minutes later. The light snapped on. Reality rushed in. He turned to leave. Don't, she said before she could stop herself. He paused. Stay, she added. Just sit. He did. And something about that felt more dangerous than any black car. He sat on the edge of her couch like it might accuse him of something. Yura stayed standing at first, arms crossed, watching him exist in her space. The contrast was almost absurd. Expensive coat against a sagging cushion. controlled posture beneath a flickering ceiling light. "You're tense," she said. "I am in an unfamiliar environment," Ki-hyun replied. She snorted. "It's a one-bedroom apartment, not a jungle." "Your building has no security," he said. "The lock is weak." "That's called poverty." He looked at the door again. "It is called risk." She sighed and dropped onto the armchair opposite him. "You can stop analyzing. I'm not asking you to fix anything." "I am not fixing," he said. "I am observing. That's worse." Silence stretched, not sharp, not heavy, just there. "Why are you really here?" she asked finally. "The power outage," he answered. "That's not the real reason." He didn't deny it. His gaze drifted to the window where rain streaked the glass. "Because when you stopped answering messages," he said. "I noticed." Her chest tightened. "You weren't supposed to." "And yet," he echoed her earlier words. She rubbed her forehead. "This is a bad idea." "Yes," he agreed. "Say it like you mean it." "This is a very bad idea." That almost made her smile. She stood and went to the kitchen, poured 2 glasses of water, then hesitated before handing him one. Their fingers brushed. She felt it. He definitely did. Nothing dramatic happened. But neither of them pulled away quickly. "Do you ever get tired?" she asked quietly. He took a sip. "Of what?" "Being this," she gestured vaguely. "In control, watched, dangerous." He considered the question longer than necessary. "I am tired of silence," he said at last. She nodded. "It gets loud." He glanced at her. "That is not what I meant." The rain intensified outside. The building groaned. "You can leave," she said. "I won't be offended." He didn't move. "I know." "Then why stay?" He met her eyes. "Because you asked." That landed harder than she expected. She sat back down. Closer this time. Not touching. Just nearer. "My life is messy," she said. "I don't have room for whatever this is." "I do not take up much space," he replied. She laughed softly. "That might be the most untrue thing you've said." Another pause. "Someone will come looking for you," she said. "Eventually." "Yes. And they won't ask nicely." "No," she swallowed. "I don't want that here." "Then I will keep it away." "You can't promise that." He looked at her steadily. "I can try." That should have scared her. It didn't. The clock on the wall ticked too loudly. "I should go," he said, finally standing. She nodded. "You should." He hesitated at the door. "You were not afraid of me," he said. "At the gala." She crossed her arms. "I was distracted." "By what?" "By the fact that if I showed fear, you'd own me." Something dark and unreadable crossed his face. "I do not want to own you," he said quietly. "That's new." "Yes." He opened the door, then paused. "Tomorrow," he added. "Dinner. Normal." She raised an eyebrow. "You keep saying that word." "I am learning," he repeated. She didn't answer right away. Then, "Fine. But I choose." He inclined his head. "Agreed." He left. The door closed softly behind him. Yura leaned back against it, heart beating too fast for a quiet apartment. Across the city, Ki-hyun stood beside his car and did not get in right away. He realized something he did not like. She was no longer an accident. She was a variable. And variables changed outcomes. Yura chose the place on purpose. It was small, crowded, loud in a way that felt alive instead of dangerous. Plastic menus, sticky tables, A television bolted to the wall playing something no one was really watching. When Ki-hyun walked in, the room changed anyway. Not dramatically. Not obviously. Just enough. A few glances. A few pauses. People sensed weight even if they didn't know the name for it. "You stand out," she said as he slid into the booth across from her. "I was hoping you would," he replied. "That's not reassuring." "You came," she shrugged. Curiosity is cheaper than therapy. He studied the menu like it might offend him. "What do you recommend?" She blinked. "You're actually asking?" "Yes," she pointed. "That, and don't complain." This is not a negotiation. He ordered exactly what she told him to. The waitress looked surprised. Yora hid a smile. They ate in silence at first. Comfortable. Strange. "This is acceptable," he said finally. She grinned. "High praise." His phone buzzed. He checked it once, then set it face down. "That's new," she noted. "You are choosing this place," he said. "I am choosing to stay." Her chest warmed despite herself. "You're not used to choosing," she said. "I choose constantly." "Not like this," he didn't argue. Halfway through the meal, a man at the bar stood up too fast. Ki-hyun's posture shifted instantly. Subtle. Sharp. Yora noticed. "Hey," she said quietly. "It's fine." His eyes stayed on the man until he left. Then he exhaled slowly. "This is what it looks like," he said. "What?" "Being near me." She wiped her mouth with a napkin. "I've been near worse. That is not comforting." "It's honest." He looked at her, surprised. Outside, a car idled too long. Yora followed his gaze. Her stomach tightened. "That one yours?" "No." The word landed wrong. He stood immediately. "We are leaving." "Now?" "Yes." She didn't argue. That scared her more than if she had. They stepped into the night. The street was busy. Normal. Until it wasn't. The car pulled out. Followed. Yora's pulse spiked. "Okay," she said lightly. "So this is happening." "Stay close," he said, already moving. She matched his pace without thinking. His hand hovered near her back, never touching. "Ready." "Is this about me?" she asked. "No," he said. "That makes it worse." They turned a corner. Another. The car stayed. Ki-hyun's phone was in his hand now. One message. Short. Efficient. Black vehicles appeared like answers. The following car slowed. Turned away. Silence rushed back in. Yora stopped walking. Her hands were shaking now. She didn't hide it. "Your life is insane," she said. "Yes." "And this is what you meant?" "Yes." She laughed once, sharp and breathless. "You really don't do casual." "No." They stood there, streetlight flickering overhead. "You should go home," he said. She looked at him. "You don't get to decide that." His jaw tightened. "This is not a debate." "Everything is a debate," she snapped. "You don't get to drop danger at my feet and then tell me to walk away like it's nothing." He stared at her. For the first time, something close to fear crossed his face. "That is exactly why you should." She swallowed. "I didn't ask for this." "I know." "But it's here," she said. "So stop pretending distance fixes everything." Silence stretched between them. Heavy. Alive. "Someone like you," she added quietly, "doesn't get to choose who gets hurt. You only choose how honest you are about it." He looked away. "I will handle it," he said. "That's what you always say, yes." She stepped closer. Too close. And I'm supposed to trust that? He met her gaze. You already do. That truth hit her harder than the car had. She stepped back. Take me home. He nodded once. I will. As the black car pulled up, Ki-hyun understood something with cold clarity. She had crossed into his world, and the world never gave people back unchanged. Yura didn't sleep. She lay on her back staring at the ceiling, listening to the building breathe pipes ticking, neighbors shifting, a distant siren that didn't belong to her, but still made her chest tighten. Her phone buzzed at 2:14 a.m. Unknown number. Do not open your door. She sat up so fast the blanket slid to her waist. Yura. Is this you? 3 dots appeared. Unknown number. Yes. Yura. Why? Unknown number. Because there is someone downstairs. Yura's throat went dry. Yura. In my building? Unknown number. In your hallway. She slid off the bed and moved on bare feet, quiet, careful. The apartment felt too small. The lock on the door suddenly felt like a joke. She didn't touch the handle. She leaned to the peephole. 2 men stood outside. Not maintenance. Not drunk neighbors. Suits. Clean shoes. Hands relaxed in the way trained hands relaxed. Yura stepped back, heart hammering. Yura. I see them. Unknown number. Do not speak. Do not open. Go to the back window. Yura hesitated. Yura. Are they yours? Unknown number. No. That single word made the air heavier. Her phone rang. His name didn't appear. Just the same unknown number. She answered without thinking. What is happening? His voice was low and controlled, like control could be a weapon. You are being tested. By who? She whispered. Someone who is curious, he said. Stay away from the door. She backed into the kitchen. The back window looked out to a narrow fire escape and an alley that smelled like rain and garbage. I'm not built for this, she said through clenched teeth. I know, he replied. That is why you should listen. A soft metallic click came from the front door. Yura froze. There. Quiet, he cut in. They want panic. Another click. A whisper of pressure against the lock. Yura's hands shook as she pushed the window up. Cold air slapped her face. I can't jump, she breathed. You won't, he said. There is a stairwell behind your kitchen. Use it. Now. There isn't. A second sound. Closer. The lock giving slightly. Down 1 flight. 2. Keep moving, he said. Where are you? Close, he answered. At the bottom, the stairwell door opened into the alley. Rain fell hard, turning the pavement slick. A black car waited at the curb, engine running. The rear door opened. Ki-hyun stepped out himself. No guards around him. No entourage. Just him in the rain, face unreadable, eyes sharp. Yura stopped short, breathless. You came alone? I didn't, he said. They're just not visible. As if on cue, 2 shadows detached from the darkness, positions taking shape. His men. He reached for her arm. Not rough, but certain. Get in. She pulled back an inch on instinct. Are we doing this now? His gaze held hers. Yes. She got in. The car moved the moment the door shut. The city blurred past, wet light streaking across tinted glass. Yura stared at him, anger rising to cover fear. You said you'd keep your world away from me. I tried, he said. That's not an apology. I don't apologize, he replied. I correct. She laughed once, shaky. God, you're impossible. He watched her hands. You're shaking. I'm fine, she lied. Stop, he said quietly. The word wasn't loud, but it snapped something into place. Her breath hitched. She hated that it worked. Who are you? She demanded. Not the version you sell at galas. The real one. He was silent for a long moment. Then he said, Young Ki Hyun. She stared. That's just a name. It is enough, he replied. No, she said, voice breaking with frustration. It's not. People don't pick my lock at 2 a.m. because you're bored. His jaw tightened. They came because you stood next to me and did not bow. She swallowed. So what? I'm a symbol. You're a message, he said. That made her colder than the rain. And the part where you're the Korean Mafia boss, she said softly. Is that real? Silence. His eyes slid to hers. Yes. The word landed like a door locking behind her. She should have been terrified. Instead, she stared at him and realized something else. He looked tense. Not angry. Not bored. Afraid. Of what she would do with the truth. You're watching me, she whispered. No, he said. I'm waiting. For what? For you to finally be afraid, he answered. Yora's laugh came out rough. Sorry, not happening on schedule. Something flickered in his expression. Relief. Irritation. Both. The car turned, slipping into a quieter neighborhood. Where are we going? She asked. Somewhere with stronger locks, he said. And after that? He looked at her. After that, you decide if you will keep pretending you are not connected to me. The car slowed. A gated building rose ahead. Yora's phone buzzed with a new message. Unknown number. We know she's with you. Yora's stomach dropped. She looked at Ki Hyun. They're not done. He didn't blink. Neither am I. The building was quiet in the wrong way. Too clean. Too controlled. Cameras watched without blinking. The gate closed behind them with a sound that felt final. Yura stepped out of the car slowly. Her legs felt disconnected from her thoughts. This isn't my apartment, she said. No, Ki Hyun replied. It's safer. That's not what I asked. He didn't answer. He led her inside. Through a lobby that smelled like money and silence. Into an elevator that recognized him without a button being pressed. She leaned back against the wall as it rose. You don't get to hide me like furniture. I'm not hiding you, he said. I'm protecting you. You keep using that word like it excuses everything. It explains everything. The doors opened onto a private floor. One apartment. Lights already on. Warm, prepared. She laughed bitterly. Of course you plan this. I plan most things. She dropped her bag by the door. This is insane. Yes. And you're just okay with it? No, he said. And effective with it. She turned on him then, frustration finally cracking through. People followed me, touched my lock. My life isn't theoretical anymore. I know, he said quietly. That is why you are here. Because you're dangerous. Yes, because you're powerful. Yes, because you don't lose. He hesitated. Not often, he corrected. That pause mattered. Yura crossed her arms. What happens when I decide I don't want this? He met her eyes. Then you leave. And they stop? No. Her breath caught. So that's it. Stay with you or be exposed. That is not what I'm saying. It's exactly what you're saying. Silence filled the apartment, heavy and sharp. I didn't ask for you, she said. You found me. And you stayed, he replied. She shook her head. I stayed because you didn't scare me. That was a mistake, he said. Yours or mine? Yes. Another beat. I won't be owned, she said flatly. I don't want to own you, he replied. I want you alive. That's still control. He stepped closer. Not touching. Never touching unless she closed the distance. My world does not allow innocence, he said. You were standing in it anyway. Her voice dropped. Then teach me. His eyes darkened. You don't want that. Maybe I do. They stood there, the air between them tight with everything unspoken. His phone buzzed. He looked once. Jaw set. What? She asked. They're moving, he said. Tonight? Yes. Her heart slammed. So what do we do? He didn't hesitate. You leave. She laughed, sharp and humorless. Then I will not force you, he said. But I will not be able to protect you. There it is. I won't lie to you, she swallowed. So I choose danger with you or danger without you. Yes. Her hands clenched. You're afraid. He didn't deny it. Of losing control. Or of losing me. That landed. He looked away. You matter. Her chest tightened. That's the most terrifying thing you could have said. A sound echoed from outside. Distant. Not close yet. She stepped toward him. You just said, I know what I said, he cut in. And I am changing it. You don't get to decide for me. I do if you want to live. She stared at him. You think I can just disappear? Yes, he said. I can make that happen. That's your solution to everything. Erase. It works. For you. For anyone I choose. The weight of that settled over her. And if I say no? She asked quietly. He looked at her for a long time. Long enough that she saw the conflict he hated showing. If I stay, he met her gaze, then nothing will ever be simple. She nodded once. It already isn't. Their faces were close now. Too close. He spoke quietly. If you stay, you become leverage. And if I leave, you become a target. Silence. Yura took a breath. I'm not running. Something broke and hardened in his eyes at the same time. Then you stay with me, he said. For now, she replied. His phone buzzed again. This time, the message was shorter. Incoming. He reached for her hand instinctively. She didn't pull away. Whatever happens next, she said. You don't get to do it alone. He looked at her, really looked. Neither do you. Outside, engines turned over. The night moved closer. The first knock wasn't polite. It hit the door like a warning. Then again. 3 beats, spaced like someone who wanted her to imagine what came next. Yura stood frozen in the center of the apartment. The warmth from the lights felt useless now. Ki Hyan was already moving. Body shifting into something colder. One hand lifted slightly, and 2 shadows appeared at the edges of the hallway. His men. Silent. Ready. Stay behind me, he said. I hate that sentence, Yura whispered. You'll hate the alternative more. The intercom buzzed. A voice, smooth and amused. Chairman Jung, open up. We can do this clean. Ki Hyan pressed the button. You're in the wrong place. A chuckle. You're the one who's been leaving your leash where people can see it. Yura's stomach turned. Leash? Ki Hyan didn't look back. Don't listen. The voice continued anyway, as if it could hear her heartbeat. You brought her inside your walls. That's cute. That's also stupid. Ki Hyan's jaw tightened. Name yourself. Not tonight. Another laugh. Tonight I just want proof you're still human. A crash sounded downstairs. Metal against metal. Then footsteps. Too many. Too fast. Coming up. Yora's hand started shaking. She hated that he noticed. He glanced at her once. Not cold this time. Protective, furious, controlled. If I tell you to run, he said, you run. I'm not Yora. Her name in his mouth was a command and an anchor. The door handle moved. The lock held. For now. Then the camera monitor by the wall flickered. A feed showed the stairwell. 3 men climbing, weapons hidden but obvious in their posture. Ki-hyun exhaled once and made a decision. He took her hand and pulled her toward the bedroom. Not rough. Certain. This way, he said. She stumbled after him. Where are we going? There's no back exit. He opened a panel in the closet wall. A narrow door. Hidden. The kind of door normal people didn't have. Yora stared. You have a secret door. I told you my life isn't normal. He pushed it open. A private stairwell, descending into darkness. Behind them, the front door shook as something hit it harder. Yora's breath broke. This is real. Yes, he said. Now move. They ran down the stairs. Her socks slipped. His grip never did. At the bottom, another door opened into an underground garage lit by harsh white light. 2 black cars waited. Engines on. His men poured in around them like a shield. One spoke into his sleeve. South exit clear. Keum guided her into the back seat. He slid in beside her. The door slammed. The car surged forward. Above, muffled explosions of sound metal breaking. Glass shattering. Someone shouting. Yura pressed her forward to the window. They're inside. Ki-hyun's voice was calm. Let them be. The car flew through the garage, out into the night. Tires slicing water. Another vehicle appeared behind them. Then 2. They're still following, Yura breathed. Yes, he said. Because they want you. Her throat closed. Why? He looked at her. Because you are the only thing I have not controlled. A sharp turn threw her against him. His arm came up automatically, holding her steady. The contact made her pulse spike for a different reason, and she hated that too. His phone buzzed. He answered without looking. Now, ahead, 2 black SUVs slid into position, blocking the street. The pursuing cars swerved. One clipped a barrier and spun. The other slowed, boxed in. It was fast. Clean. Brutal without blood. Yura stared, trembling. You planned this. I planned survival, he said. The convoy didn't stop until they reached a quiet waterfront road. The city lights shimmered across dark water like nothing bad ever happened. Ki-hyun opened the door and got out. Yura followed, legs unsteady. Cold wind hit her face. He faced her fully. It won't end, he said. Not quickly, she swallowed. So what now? He hesitated. Then, for the first time, he told her the truth without armor. If you stay with me, he said, your life will never be simple. There will be fear, rules, danger. Yura stepped closer. And if I leave? He closed his eyes for a second. Safety, he admitted. And emptiness. She stared at him, and her voice came out steady. I don't want safe if it means alone. His gaze snapped to hers. Something in him cracked open. He reached for her hand, slow, careful, like he was asking permission. She gave it by squeezing his fingers. Stay, he said. I already am, she replied. He pulled her in. The kiss wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. A promise and a warning at the same time. When they separated, he rested his forehead against hers. "You were the only one not afraid of me," he whispered. Yura exhaled. "I am afraid," she admitted. "I'm just not afraid of you." Behind them, engines hummed. The night waited. And somewhere in the city, someone would try again. But for the first time, Yura knew, whatever came, she wouldn't be facing it alone.